right, tell me. Can I believe in this film? I didn't get to go. I had to go see some fucking movie about sick kids. And
These guys believed.
I believe.
Oh, but the heathen over here.
Apparently, you got to have faith. I guess. You know?
I don't think that's the case.
I mean,
don't know.
clearly, my being an atheist, I'm not nearly atheist enough for Cyrus.
You are not. You haven't punched a Christian today.
That's true. Now that I think about it, neither have I.
But so yeah, I didn't get to go see the movie. I was looking forward to it. Is it any good?
Dude, it's a post-apocalyptic film starring Denzel Washington.
directed by the guys who did Menace to Society.
And
Right.
yeah, no, this is the Hughes brothers.
And South Central is kind of like the apocalypse, so
That much
well,
is true.
they shot it on location in South Central. It was, you couldn't tell the
No.
difference.
It looked a little better than South
I
Central.
was
you gotta
like,
admit.
wow, this CG is real. These people look poor and destitute and just charred to a crisp. Man, it's Southern LA.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the landscape is riddled with cannibals, but you still got a better chance of getting out alive.
So is this like the road then? Is it like the man that got naked in the road found his clothes and went
You
on?
know what? Let me put it this way.
Went out on a vengeance.
It's the road to Road Harder.
Like whenever apocalypse happened, and on the East Coast you had damn it,
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. Thank you. On the East Coast you had Viggo Mortensen with his son traveling around trying not to get eaten. And on the West Coast you had Denzel Washington just cutting dudes' hands off.
Well, what this is kind of in a Mad Max universe, but really where this is set in a very similar universe to A Boy and His Dog, the classic 70s post-apocalyptic film.
Yeah.
There's even a few little references in the film to that movie. The Hughes brothers are big fans of it and wanted to throw in a couple visual references right down to a movie poster on a wall to go, okay, if you don't get it yet, here it is. It's A Boy and His Dog. This is a very bleak landscape where humanity is barely surviving, but they survive by doing very horrible things to one another. And this is the story about a fucking badass wandering through the wilderness, a kind of almost like a samurai story, if you will. And he's on this quest that we slowly unravel as the movie goes on. But runs afoul of some really bad dudes that want to get in the way of his quest. And it is a movie about watching this badass have to deal with some people who have no morality left and will do anything to accomplish what they need to accomplish.
Kind of like us.
Oh, wait, who's Eli then? You? Me? You don't want to accomplish anything. You just want to sit around and drink beer.
Eli, over here.
Shut up, Christian.
I'm a Christian on a quest, motherfucker.
Oh, I thought since I was the closest thing to Denzel, I was just a shoe-in.
Well, y'all have the same shoe
so
size,
much as
right?
you waited on him one time.
Yeah, that counts, right? Well, just say I got the same shoe size. Yeah. Hey, wait till I grow out my nappy beard. You want me talking that way
You
then?
know what they say about big feet?
Yeah, big shoes.
What they about big feet? You like Denzel Washington?
No, but
Must be a clown.
No, what's cool about this is that you say it has that samurai feel to it. I guess for a sword, it just has Denzel Washington with a big African machete going around chopping people. But then, they got that one town that looks like a Western, and this movie looks pretty much like a Western.
Dude, it is. It's a post-apocalyptic Western when you come down to it.
That's what they're going for.
It's the lone stranger who wanders into a budding small town and meets a bunch of bad people and has to, kick ass to
One huge
show what
difference.
it's all about.
One huge difference is like normally when it's Clint Eastwood who does this, you don't really know much about the guy. You don't know much when he comes up, and you don't know much when he leaves. He's almost like a force of nature. And not to say that Eli, Denzel Washington's movie, isn't, perhaps touched by God or protected by God, but you do find out things about him. He has a personality, so you care about his well-being.
But you still don't know much about him. Even by the end, you're still learning things, and you still know nothing. He is effectively the man with no name, but the only reason we know his name is because of a small little cue in the movie, which may not actually be his name. We refer to him as Eli, but he may not actually be named Eli.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But he's a really cool character in a really fucked up situation. What I love about this movie is just how bleak it is and how it takes some of the similar notes from The Road, in the sense of the scavenging and the cannibalism. The beginning of the movie is him looking for new shoes because his shoes are worn out. And we watch, it's almost like 10 minutes of dialogue free of him in this kind of wasteland trying to find new shoes.
Ain't that like a brother? It's like he needs food, water, but What's a black man gonna look for in a
Sneakers.
Sneakers. He's out there looking for sneakers.
He's got to have his Nikes or his New Balance.
Yeah, I found some Jordans.
But as it goes on, we find out that there's something that's very important to him that ends up forcing him to go into this town. And when he does, he, like I said, he runs afoul of the local law, so to speak. And it's very much a Western town. It's a town run by one individual, and everybody's kind of under his thumb. And he has access to supplies that everyone needs, so he runs the town. And
that's Gary Oldman.
That's Gary Oldman.
Now Gary Oldman looks like he's just going way over the top. Whatever scenery is left in this post-apocalyptic world, he's chewed it up.
I mean, honestly, after the movie, the Leon movie, The Professional,
yeah,
he can't chew any more than that.
He's eaten all the scenery that there is in Hollywood already.
Check, please.
Exactly.
He's actually very toned down in this.
I
mean, he's playing it. In fact, it was funny that the Hughes brothers told a story about the fact that they spent about 6 weeks every day at 5 days a week at Denzel's house going through the script, and Denzel would read every part. And he started reading the role that Gary Oldman played, and started reading it like Gary Oldman. Goes, now Gary would read it this way, and eventually they said, well, you know what, we have to get Gary Oldman. And there was one line that Denzel improvised. Denzel improvised bits of the script to kind of fill stuff out, and one line that he improvised big and huge, like Gary Oldman would have done it in The Professional. And I like this guy. And then they brought in Gary Oldman, and Gary Oldman's like, huh, I like this guy.
It's not right to keep that book hidden away. It's meant to be shared with others. It's meant to be spread. Isn't that what you want?
With all my heart and soul. I always believed that I'd find a place where this book belonged, where it was needed. I haven't found it yet.
I love this guy. I love this guy. Shoot him, please.
The one thing you don't realize, though, is that, in fact, Denzel Washington is performing this as a one-man play on Broadway soon. The Book of Eli, starring Denzel Washington as everything.
Well, to go back to that Q&A, what they said is actually very true about this film. They before the film they said, look, the most expensive special effect you're going to see on screen up there cost $20 million, and his name is Denzel Washington. And this film is all about watching Denzel Washington.
I knew he was CG. I told you
the whole time.
Yeah. No, you go back and watch Training Day, CG.
Fuck Avatar.
They wouldn't have put a white actor with a black actor in the same place. Are you kidding? Are you crazy? He could get killed.
Ever since Fallen, he's been fake. He's been replaced the whole time. You really think they give an Oscar to a black man? Please.
Yeah, when he walked out to get his Academy Award, they're like, no, we got to please these black people. Let's just make a CG Denzel Washington.
Exactly.
That's right. You watch that Oscar broadcast,
remember,
you see him flicker ever so often.
Remember when we saw Gollum give an award?
Yeah.
What'd you say? When Denzel Washington comes out, he's like, I'd like to thank the Academy Award.
Is that Denzel Washington or Max Headroom?
But you know something?
It explains The Preacher's Wife.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't show up for that.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Goddamn Windows.
I tell you though, man, there's a lot of people who hadn't seen this movie. You hadn't seen for a while in this movie. Jennifer Beals, who I hadn't seen a movie in a while.
Yep, right.
And I didn't even know it was her because she's perfect for this. She looks like olive oil.
And you've got to find a woman who can play Mila Kunis's mom.
And she plays her mom?
She plays. Well, come on. An old Jennifer Beals kind of has that hotness factor that she could pass on to a Mila Kunis.
She is totally your type of woman, Corey. She's hot in here anyway, and she's got to be in her 40s by now.
And
she's blind.
And she's blind. So you're set.
And she's blind?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Blind.
So you can do whatever you want to her.
Yeah, you go, yeah, baby, I'm Denzel Washington.
Like, look,
Well, how do you think Gary Oldman gets her?
yeah, you're like, look, you better give me some. I'm going to rearrange the furniture.
Damn, if only she was mute too, I could take that shit.
And then break a finger so she couldn't tell
She
anybody.
can't tell nobody. But no, you know something? It's a lot
We're going
of
to get crucified.
Oh, no.
Listen, I just want to say that's a Rudy Ray Moore joke.
Yeah, we didn't invent that, people. Sorry, he's dead, so you can't do nothing to him. But no, it looks like a cool movie for the same things that we said. A lot of people we haven't seen who give some good performances. It is a modern day Western set in the apocalypse, but the religious aspect of it, I think that's what's dividing everybody here, because I sense that we got two people who like it and one that did not.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I wanted to, and it didn't really lose me till about maybe the last third of it, really, where it just became downright preachy and dull to me. I mean, I'm watching it, I'm going, I'm kind of with you. Some of these action scenes are interesting and fun. There's some good dialogue. There's some great camera shots. But overall, it just felt like it just kept backpedaling into tedium, into stuff I've seen too many times before. And like I said, by the time, and I can't really talk about it because it just spoils way too much about why it started to really bug me, at least as far as the faith-based aspects. But I just thought it had problems in and of itself. I mean, Leon kept saying, I thought it totally stuck within the mythology, regardless of something I agree with. I don't agree with that, and I felt like, in fact, it did go against that within its own story, and that's why it bugged me. By the end, I just didn't care anymore. I was like, I can hardly wait to get out of here. This is just dull.
So it had nothing to do with the religion?
No, it did. I just didn't like the way it used it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe, I know you don't understand a religion, or it just pisses you off and it puts you in that mood, but you're saying it does things that other movies have done, but you often will watch a movie and go like, well, hey man, of course it did that. That's trope. It's like you're not cutting this movie the same slack I've seen you cut other movies.
I don't agree with that at all. In fact, I thought this could have been, they could have gotten rid of Denzel Washington, put Kirk Cameron in with a banana instead of a machete, and it would have been like more acceptable to the story that was going on.
Except he would have got his ass kicked within the first 10 minutes.
It's like, hey, what are you? You're a 60-year-old man with a banana.
Either way, it's a fantasy.
I know. I can see Kirk Cameron trying to go up against these marauders. You put that hand on me again, and what? I'm gonna pray for your soul.
Banana represents God and your soul. Seriously, don't squish the banana.
Well, I'm with Leon here. In fact, I totally disagree. It doesn't get preachy at all. There's nothing that's actually preachy about it. The film is definitely about faith and it's about spirituality, but the film doesn't. There's a great moment where the first time we really hear much out of the book at all beyond the standard yea though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death speech is him kind of just saying, yeah, after reading it that many times, I just kind of this is what I got out of it. And he just says one little thing, and it's like, for a film that's supposed to be about religion, it's supposed to be about a guy carrying around a Bible, you kind of think that it would be a lot preachier than it is. It's not preachy at all. In fact, it's incredibly violent, and I don't believe that it actually violates its own universe at any time.
I don't think incredibly violent has anything to do with whether or not it's not preachy. Have you read the Bible?
I have.
I think he's probably read it more than we have.
Yeah, I agree that you probably have, but I have indeed read it myself.
No, I'm not. I didn't say you haven't read it, but the point is that this guy does not at any time act like he's a Christian or teach anyone how to be a Christian or be the embodiment of what of Christ-like in any way, shape, or form. Quite the contrary, he acknowledges that he is something of an extreme sinner that has done what he believes he had to do for his quest, and that he does some downright evil fucking shit.
But there's so many stories like this in the Bible. It totally fits within that mythology. There's been so many stories about these kind of prophets or men of God like this. But you could take this. It doesn't even have to be Christianity. This could be a guy who was faithful to the Quran or the Torah or even, Bullfinch's mythology. It could have been Greek mythology.
What about Scientology?
It's even Scientology. As a matter of fact, it's just a guy who has faith in this, religious artifact and is going through with it. You could have switched it out with anything. But the fact is, I think it's not only preachy, but toward the end, like when you say it does kind of like start to actually delve into religion, I was clapping for it. I was like, you know what? That's good to be ballsy like that, because even though I might not be a Christian, everybody shies away from it, maybe a little too much. Here's a chance for them to do it, and it does it enough to where I'm like, yeah, own it, be proud of it.
Well, is this religion or is this spirituality?
It's spirituality.
It's very much spirituality and not religion. There's very little Christianity brought up in the film at all. It's very much just the fact that this object is a MacGuffin, and they happen to actually inject that MacGuffin a bit into the film. You're not going to walk away having learned a single thing about Christianity after watching this film. Not a one.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't like you watch it and you immediately go walk into a church and say, like, I've been a sinner all my life and I want to accept Jesus Christ. It's just like, if you do, it's because you're going to go like, okay, now when do I get one of those cool swords?
Yeah. when do I get to look like a... Yeah. When do I get my machete and look like I'm a cross between Isaac Hayes and Ray Charles walking around?
Go be Christian in Africa. They need you there. Seriously, they love you. Go ahead.
No, you know what? This is interesting. I mean, this is very interesting. It's hard to tell. And it's funny, it came out kind of like I predicted with you. Because some told me you wouldn't like it. I mean, no offense here.
Hey man,
I would have bet my paycheck that he didn't like
to
it.
be fair, I'm far from the only one. Before I came over here, I looked online. A lot of critics have seen this, and the majority don't like it for the same reasons I didn't.
I've read some mediocre reviews too.
Yeah, but some did and totally deny, like the same way these guys are saying, and that's fair. That's what they got from it.
Well, I knew Carla.
I saw it as being really preachy, and yes, they directly quote from the Bible on a number of occasions in the film. And
Is it
I know
because
that
he's-
doesn't bother me per se. It just uses it to back up some of its points in a way that I felt goes against what they had said earlier. So, hey, that's me. I don't want to go too deep into this because honestly, I just don't want to offend anybody who isn't going to have a problem with this. Religion is a very touchy subject, and I don't like to be too heavy-handed with it when I'm criticizing something that's clearly for this audience.
I know you ripped up your theater seat when you saw Evan Almighty.
I know, dude. You lost your shit.
But you didn't even want to come and review it with us. You're like,
No.
I don't want to talk about it.
I was too mad about that.
You told me, you were like, Corey, I will kill you if I come and do this review with you. That's how angry I am.
I'll be in such a bad mood. There's no way. I hated that movie so much. And to be fair on that one, I was definitely in the majority.
Oh, you were. I just remember.
Well, no. I mean, as a Christian, I hated that fucking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was just, it was truly offensive on several levels.
Well, I figured Carlisle would love Book of Eli, and Leon was the one I
Not
couldn't
sure.
tell. Yeah, I wasn't sure. And he was a wild card, so you liked it.
The thing is, you know what? Like I said, the religious aspects, they're just part of the story. But I just like it as an action movie, first and foremost. It's well paced. I was never bored. I like the look of it. I mean, I thought the look was like a little too much at first, but once I got into it, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of digging this. It has its own style. Oh, and I'm not without saying anything. It's got some surprises in it that actually surprised me.
Okay.
Well, one of the major things that you have to hammer home about this film that really sold this film for me in particular is the fact that the Hughes brothers, they didn't waste a single speaking role. They got some powerhouse people to come in and do some stuff. Like we talked about before, Jennifer Beals and they had Mila Kunis. But like there's a shopkeeper who's played by Tom Waits.
Yeah.
And he just nails it. Michael Gambone shows up as a guy in a house with his wife, and that was really cool.
You know, a character I really like was Ray Stevenson.
I was about to mention him.
Because he seems like a one-note character, and then the longer he goes on, you do kind of see some dimension to him.
Yeah, no, they really do bring out some great stuff, and he gets a really great ending to a great punctuation mark to his character.
And then
at
there's
the
Malcolm
end.
McDowell.
And Malcolm that's Malcolm McDowell
can't
shows
even
up as
talk,
well.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I think he's kind of like towards the end of the movie.
As much as we talked about how he, when he's in a movie is bad, he's in it such a it's a teardrop how much he's in it.
Yeah, but the thing is that all these actors bring so much to very small roles. Ray Stevenson, I was really impressed with him. He plays the henchman, and a henchman role that is normally a throwaway role for a big tough guy. They say, hey, let's get a big tough guy who knows how to act, and Ray Stevenson plays a perfect second in charge, second banana to
Gary Oldman.
To Gary Oldman.
Now we're talking about Ray Stevens, not Ray Stevens, the guy that did
Not the guy who sang the streak and Guitar Zan.
Guitar Zan.
No, we're talking about the Punisher.
Okay, because last time we
The
did
real
that,
Punisher,
we made
not that pussy fucking.
Okay. Now,
Everything is beautiful.
Exactly. I'm about to say, last time we had the Punisher singing, everything is beautiful.
Ray Stevens is the Punisher. They call him the Streak. Wow.
Call me. But
Guitar Zan.
so what would you guys give this then?
Man, I've been kind of back and forth. 'Cause I was like, well, a high matinee or a low full price, but you know what? I'm just gonna go with how much I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a surprise for me because I thought at best it'd be kind of meh, but I really liked the movie, so I'm gonna go ahead and say full price.
Okay.
The first half of this movie, I would have easily given this a matinee. Even while I had problems with it, I was still like, you know what? This is an apocalypse matinee film. It's not great, but it's serving its purpose. And it just got to that point where it took a turn where I wasn't with it anymore at all, to the point where it was just plain annoying me. So I'm going to have to go rental. I know some people are going to like it for different reasons, but for me, yeah, it's a rental.
All right.
Dude, full price. They made this film for me. I mean, come on. A post-apocalyptic, rated-R Christian film starring Gary Oldman and Denzel Washington. I could have written this script and it would have come out like this film was made for me.
So is there ever a moment in the movie where Denzel Washington stops and says to somebody, the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides?
You know what? There is almost a scene like
I
that.
was gonna say it's funny because he's doing that. There is a moment like that, and I'm like, I actually know the verse. I'm like, I know this verse. I'm waiting for him to fuck it up like Jules Winfield did. No, he gets it right.
While he's doing it, you see like Denzel Washington's hair just get all wet and curly. He's just instant Jerry Curly. He's saying that line.
Well, if Samuel Jackson was Kanye West, he'd have stepped in front of him like, hey, Eli, I ain't trying to take nothing away from you, but the way you should say this verse is.
Yeah. The path of the...
Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.